I would like to extend my warm greetings. Before commencing the presentation, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Hamisha Kapadia, and our group will be focusing on Grace Medical Center. This center provides healthcare to the local community, and once the approval is given by the client, the patient management system will be developed. Their priority is basically to take care of the patients, and currently the medical center is maintaining the conventional approach of manual record keeping. Also, all the medical histories of the patients are stored in a file, and then it is stored physically in the file room. The appointments made by patients are also recorded in the appointment register, which is then communicated or is passed on to the doctors at the end of the day for confirmation. There are also times when patients are appointed a specific date and time by the doctor for review or reading out reports, which is also maintained in the appointment register. And any reports that have come out are also filed in the respective patient's file by the support staff at the medical center. To overcome few of these issues, the patient management system is being developed, and the development of the system will control the flow of patients more efficiently and effectively. So this project will consider the major knowledge areas, which is organized by Project Management Book of Knowledge to provide the robust foundation such as scope, time, risk, human resource, quality, communication, change and cost management. And any progresses of the project will be reported to the project manager. Since the development of the pro- since the development of the patient management system will be limited to time and budget constraints, the project manager will monitor the expenses and schedules against the budget and milestones defined respectively. Moving on to the project overview statement, the development of the patient management system at Grace Medical Center is a step towards technological advancement. The system will focus on providing efficiency in relation to tracking the patient information such as appointments, diagnosis, prescriptions, and coordination within the clinic. The scope statement comprises of the work that has to be performed in order to mitigate any unnecessary tasks which is not defined in the scope. Additionally, the purpose of the scope statement is to provide comprehensive description of the project's deliverables, constraints, assumptions, exclusions, and acceptance criteria. The construction of the project management system includes planning initialization, designing, developing, testing, and finally implementing the system into the medical center's infrastructure. Moreover, the project will not be responsible or include the system's ongoing maintenance and operations. The project is restricted to 235 days of defined time frame and $185,000 of cost. The project is based on the assumption that the support will be provided by the sponsor or management of the medical center and also allow access to the internal resources of a successful development of the system. Now I will be discussing some of the problems which the Grace Medical Center faces. One of the problems they face is that they are not as technologically advanced when it comes to record keeping of patients or keeping track of day-to-day activities. Secondly, there are high chances of errors occurring which may prove to be detrimental when preparing reports. Currently, the record keeping is done manually, which can be highly time consuming and inefficient at the same time. And the paper based records may hold illegible entries directing towards further clarification or correction. Also, there are high chances of uh, the manual record keeping being exposed to the threat of unauthorized access to confidential information about the patient, which can be misused. So, the development of the new system is an opportunity to make the medical center's processes paperless. Now, I'll be discussing some of the project goals. The project aims to develop an improved patient care system, which means to implement a better patient flow system at the medical center so that they are able to achieve increased efficiency and productivity. Therefore, with the use of an automated system, it will resolve the communication gaps between the patient and the medical center. And this project will focus for the medical center to have faster and effective processes by keeping track of the patient's information as well as maintaining confidentiality of personal information. The defined goal of the project should be achieved within a time frame of 235 days. Now I will be moving on to the discussion of the project objectives. Some of the established project objectives are: firstly, to design the automated system by integrating innovative technology. Secondly, to improve the project and to achieve the defined deliverables and milestones within the allocated budget and time frame. Also, to have flexible coordination with the management and the staff of Grace Medical Center. Lastly, the project manager should be able to keep track of the project progresses, and the team members are to report to the project manager.
The success criteria. Success criteria includes a list of features that has to be included in the project plan, which will determine the success of the entire project upon reviewing by the client Grace Medical Center. The criteria includes the following: stays within the budget of $185,000. The project will be completed within 235 days. The project will be executed as planned. The client satisfaction should be achieved. The expected projects must be met, and the project should be innovative. The project should not have any societal or environmental impacts. The project outplays the competitors, and the project is focused on the use of new and improved technology. Work breakdown structure of the Grace Medical Center project is depicted on page 8 of the project plan. The work breakdown structure is organized in functional deliverables with its low-level activities known as the work packages. The first phase includes the planning and initialization, which involves the business needs and the analysis of the requirement. The second phase includes the project requirement. This involves the gathering of information through interviews and questionnaires with the reliable solutions. Phase 3 is the project design. The design task will specify in detail the communication of the system activity carried out, the user interaction with the system interaction with the organization, and the store of information by the system, prototypes to confirm design decisions, and ensuring the system operations. This all will be relevant and important to the client's requirement. Phase 4 is the system development. This is where the actual construction phase, where a functional system is being built, and it will comprise of developing and integrating the components being designed and planned previously, such as developing graphical user interface and databases. This will also include the prototype, which will be tested further. Fifth phase is the system testing. This will include the developed system to be tested to ensure that the system is serving its purpose and it's compatible with the client's requirement. Phase 6 involves the system implementation. The system developed will be implemented in the client's actual location. This deliverable consists of 6 work packages, which are quality assurance, data conversion, system installation and documentation, and providing staff training to the use of the system. Phase 7 is the project closure. After the successful development, testing, and implementation of the system, the project will be handed over to the project sponsor and terminated at the end. The appropriate documentation will be documented and provided to the project team and the project stakeholders. Resource estimation. This section will cover all the estimated resources needed for the progress and completion of this project. These estimations are based on the calculations that are done by the project manager. The resources are categorized, divided, and displayed in a tabular format. There are 4 tables to this part, and the first table that I will be discussing is skills inventory. This table is a compilation of the skills that will be needed to make this project a successful one. The table also contains information about how good a team member is at its skill set. The second table is needs inventory, which contains all the activities from the project schedule and shows the skills that will be needed to complete each task. The next table that I am going to discuss is staff assignments table. This table will provide us with information about every team member and also the tasks that they are assigned to do. The assignment description is also given beside each activity so that it gives everyone a fair idea about what the task or the activity is about. The fourth table is other resources table, which consists of information such as the equipment, facilities, and materials that were used in the project. So this was pretty much the summary of the resources estimation section, and now I will be discussing about task duration and the network diagrams. Under this section, I will be discussing about the task duration estimation and what it is. Task duration estimation is also presented in a tabular format where the table contains all the activities along with its predecessors, successors, and the various durations, such as pessimistic, optimistic, and most likely durations. These durations and the informations are used to calculate or to estimate the duration of each and every activity from the project schedule. This calculation is done using 3-point technique, of which the formula is shown on the slide right now. These task duration estimations are of a major help as they give us an idea of how long the project will take to be completed. So this also gives us an advantage in calculating the cost and resources that will be needed for the completion of the project. Now I will be discussing about the network diagrams. The network diagrams are used to map out the schedule and work sequence of the project, as well as track its progress through each stage up to and including completion. Since it encompasses every single action and outcome associated with the project, a network diagram also illustrates the scope of the project. So basically, a network diagram is a graphical representation of the project and is composed of a series of connected arrows and boxes to describe the entire relationship between the activities involved in the project. Boxes or notes represent the description of activities, and arrows show the relationship among the activities. So these charts also give us fair idea about the critical path. Not the fair idea, but it helps us in calculating all the paths, including the critical path and the slack timing. So that was all about the network charts and the task duration. The budget of the Grace Medical Center's patient management system project is allocated to $185,000. This involves the following: labor costs $68,832, equipment $30,000, facilities $15,000, miscellaneous costs $8,000, commencement of the project $3,000, stimulation requirement of the project $2,000, patient management system design $15,000, patient management system development $35,000, system testing $3,000, project implementation $4,668, project closure $500. The detailed budget is provided in the project plan on page 25 with all its deliverables and low-level activity costs.
A risk register is an important part of any project. The patient management system register involves all risks found in their listings. The risk approaches, the risk evaluation and the analysis, but most importantly, the strategies to avoid and reduce risk. There were risks identified and classified by the project manager and the risk manager in an early project meeting with all the members of the team. The project member will then allocate the risk manager to keep track of each risk and make it certain that strategies are in place to mitigate this risk as executed.
The risk management plan. It is a mechanism that defines, measures, mitigates, and tracks and controls all the risk for the project. As such, the risk management plan of the online patient registration and management system at Grace Medical Center should provide a structure whereby the project team will determine the risk factors and apply ways and techniques to reduce this. In regards to this, our project has few potential risks. First of the few are the is the performance risk. It is the possibility that the project does not yield outcomes that are aligned with the project requirements. However, to mitigate this issue, the project manager must make sure that the specifications for the project are precise and understandable, and that any alteration in the scope will be authorized by the project manager with a given time and resources. The second possible risk of our project is a very common one. It is the management and employee issues. Problems between the management and employees are common in all projects. Thus, in this project also, there could be risk that employees are living in the midst of the project, seeking a higher pay and conflict against the members or the project manager. In solving of this problem, the management or the project manager should employ staffs who approve to work until the project finishes with agreed wages and remunerations. The third potential risk of our project is the time constraint and insufficient resources. Lack of resource and time constraint is another very common issue in most of the projects. There are times risks such as project being overestimated and the work being behind the actual scheduled period. To mitigate this issue, the project team must use strategies and tools such as the Gantt charts and work breakdown structure. The team must also have accuracy and appropriate estimate of the cost and time frame. The risk management approach. The risk management will include a feedback by the project manager on the state of the periodic team meetings when there is risk time frame involved in the meetings. Defining the risk, we'll use the three methods to define the risk of our project. These are risk analysis Delphi method and the assumption assessment method. Risk qualification and prioritization. The risks that are detected by the project manager must be analyzed in order to avoid the range of project results. To analyze, we'll use two techniques, which are the qualitative risk analysis and the quantitative analysis. In the avoidance and reduction of risk, the project manager guided the project team to finish the project with proper preparations and effective plans, which led and assisted in reducing the risk and enabled the project to be more effective. The risk related to the patient registration and management system would be assessed and handled aligned with the limitations of time constraint project scope and the cost incurred in the project. If no alternative is found in serious situations, additional funds can be applied to the project to finish the project as scheduled, because the time and project scope limitations are not flexible and cannot be altered.
Management approach changes are ensured to be defined and resolved by the IS project in order to properly implement and communicate the stakeholders. There are certain types of changes in a project. Budget changes, which deals with getting more funds for the project. Scheduling changes, which can increase or decrease the timeline for the project or the deadline. And scope changes, the objectives that may be changes as a desire for the project manager or the stakeholders. Management approach communication. All communications are essential and need to be documented in the communication metrics. A communication matrix holds the details of each and every person that is directly related to the project. The matrix acts as a guide and the information will be communicated to the team members. Most importantly, all communications are related to the project manager.
The quality management plan is created to identify and review the project deliverables and project processes to ensure that the quality of the project is planned and maintained in accordance to the client's requirements. The quality management approach used by the project team will ensure that the quality of the product and the processes used are well planned at the initialization stage. The process quality standards will ensure that the activities are confronted with the firm's organizational and managerial standards to give an insight that it does not lack its quality. Quality requirements and standards. The product quality will be reviewed by the quality team on the requirements and the standards for the information system developed for the Grace Medical Center. The process quality will be reviewed by the quality team to ensure that the quality standards are maintained throughout the entire development process. The quality assurance will consider the processes involved, and the project team will review the system at regular intervals to provide feedbacks on the given processes and how well it can be executed. The quality control will be based on how well the system can perform upon installation with regards to the manual way of managing the records and the services at Grace Medical Center. The quality control measurements. The performance management system of Grace Medical Center will be established according to the standards and protocols of the department. Quality assurance and quality control log is prepared on page 52 to examine the product quality and the process quality of the patient management system. In conclusion, the implementation of the patient management system at the Grace Medical Center will be an effective way of computerizing their manual way of record keeping. The project success will be dependent on the approval of this project plan by the project sponsor. It can be recommended for the Grace Medical Center to have a periodic post-implementation review of the patient management system, as it may incur certain updates in future. Also, the client can automate the system further by implementing electronic health record, implementing a comprehensive analytics solution, and to implement the patient reminder software. Thank you for watching the video.